What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Subnautica, where my recording button... I have to rebind my recording button like every other series, because honestly, it's just like every game uses like a different F key to get something done, and that's why you may have seen that at the beginning. It was the bug reporter closing down. We need to make ourselves some food, so let's go ahead and get ourselves fed for right now, because honestly, our tummy's feeling a little bit empty. We got like that rumbly feeling. You've got that addle-brained feeling. I don't know. Oh, good, it cooked the boomerang, too. That's pretty cool. I like that. Like, I really... It sounds stupid, but I really like the fact that it actually cooks the fish right there on the table in front of you. It's pretty badass. It's kind of cool that, like, how does the fabricator... So supposedly this is a planet that we haven't colonized yet. Like, that's the storyline, is we were on a colony boat that was on its way out here. It crash landed on the planet. How does it know how to cook a species which we have, as of yet, not uncovered? I suppose that later on they said the game was going to be sort of like research / Monster Hunter or whatever, where you're in the game attempting to learn about all of the biota on the planet. And once you learn about them, you can extract different things from them and use them in different ways. I'm actually very much fascinated with that idea. I think that's a very, very good way to bring the game up and make it unique from other survival games, kind of like play up the research aspect of it. Then again, maybe it's just due to the fact that I like doing research and I like my... I really, really enjoyed microscopy and like doing research in college, so stuff like that was always a blast. Like, I like working towards a goal with a team of people, and I like finding things about stuff that you might not have otherwise known that you can write down in little notebooks and then turn in. It's fun. I enjoy it. So we got a bunch of glass. The goal for right now that we've got our glass, we are officially a glass hole. We've got that taken care of. Now that we've got that locked down, we probably want to make ourselves a constructor. So we need 3 metal for that. Actually, let's make ourselves a sea glide first. Where's the sea glide at? The sea glide's here somewhere. Is it under tools? Let's see, there it is. So we need metal and we need silicone. Actually, that's not that difficult to make. Let's go make some silicone. Grab a couple of these things right... What is that? He doesn't look so good. Huh. Can I revive him? Am I magical? I must use my magical... No, I didn't want to do that. That was an accident. I wanted to release him. Be free, little air sac! Oh, I think we may have hugged him too tightly. Yeah. This one definitely succumbed the same way that my hamster did. No, I've never had a hamster. I'm just kidding. Hamsters were not allowed at my house. We had too many cats. My mom actually loves hamsters. Like, she had a couple of pet hamsters, I guess, before I was born. Before I graced this world with my presence. And she liked them very, very much until her cat ate all of them, because the hamsters were constantly getting out of cages. Because apparently hamster cages in the 70s were really, really shittily made. I don't know. I think it's like probably the opposite, where things made back in the olden days were always of higher quality than they are now, but what do I know about anything? I feel like things nowadays are like designed to break. Like, everything is designed to break after like a year and a half, just after the manufacturer's warranty runs out. Sea glide, we needed 1 metal to make this happen, so bring forth 1 metal. Dug, 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 dug. There it is. We've got our 1 metal. And so now we shall have a sea glide. If you don't know what the sea glide does, it's essentially a little frogman unit. They have these in real life, and what they do is you just hold on to them. Now the propeller is kind of in a precarious place. Typically the ones that I've seen, so I want to show you this with my hands, but I can't because I'm a hands-on person when it comes to explaining things. Like, I always try to explain things to people by making like a visual picture with my hands. But anyways, typically you see where our hands are right now. Typically that would be covered by like a plastic shielding. And then on top of that would be like the little turbines or whatever. The turbine is actually kind of close up to the front of us. Slightly worrying. They don't spin that fast though, as far as I know. They also make frogmans that you can get like all the way up inside of, which is pretty cool. Like, they're actually like little mini subs and they hold a little bit of oxygen or whatever. I've seen a lot of different fry, and some of them are basically just pressurized tubes that you ride around. It's just like an oxygen tank that fires out of the back. There's a lot of different varieties of them. We got some boomerangs right now for dinner later on. Probably eat that little guy right there. We've got our glass, we've got our calcium, we've got a number of things that can all be used to our benefit. I figure I'll probably... Let's make some water real fast. Let me find one of these little air sacs over here, and we'll cut a couple of membranes off of him. It's unfortunate, but he's got to make a sacrifice for the Commonwealth, so there it is. My Commonwealth. That's the best Commonwealth. There we go. So we got a couple of those taken care of. Now that we've cut a couple of membranes off of him, he's perfectly good. He's like, yeah, you can say that, but you know what you just did? You essentially just circumcised my lungs. I'd be like, oh... Sorry, man. He's like, yeah, I'm still functional, but I'm definitely wounded. I'm still working, but there is a heavy amount of blood in the water right now, and you can turn those membranes straight into water in case that you need it. So there it is. You can stock it up for later, whatever you want to do. Our water levels are looking, man, we're looking a little bit low. I said wooking a little bit low, but that's because I've got Kashik on the brain, or Kashik, or however the hell you say that word. I don't know. Wookiees come from there like... I don't know. I like Wookiees. Wookiees are pretty dope. I'm all down with the Wookiees. Oh, those actually don't restore as much as they used to. They got nerfed. Okay, well that's good to know. We learned something today. Today I learned that membrane-spawned water does not heal you as much as you would think it would. So the next thing, I will probably get rid of those. We don't even need them anymore. We've got a sea glide, so I would assume that it's not a problem any further. The next thing we want to work on is the constructor. So let's have a look and see what the constructor is going to require. If you don't know what the constructor is, essentially it's just like a building bay for creating all of the bigger stuff in the game. It requires 3 metal, a battery, and some glass. And so for the battery, I think we need carbon and zinc. Whether or not we have, and I know we have the zinc, it's the carbon that I'm not so sure on. Do we have carbon? Let's take a look here. It does look like we do not have carbon. However, carbon is very easy to come by. So all is not lost, and in fact, all has been found. We just go to the bottom of the ocean right here below. Just cut up some of these little guys right here. You only need a couple of them. 3 of them, in fact, I think is the specific number of how many you need. Uno, a dos, a tres. And so now we'll come back up with the fabricator and make ourselves a little bit of carbon. And grab some zinc out of here while that's taking place. Zinc, where you at? There it is. Where to zinc, where to zinc, where to zinc at? Alright, we'll grab that. We'll make ourselves a battery. So now that that's been handled, now, in order to make our constructor, we need 3 metal, which I think we actually have. Yeah, there it is. We got ourselves 3 metal. That's good. We're going to have to move some stuff around in our inventory, though, to make this work. So just be aware that it might take a little bit of the old Tetris. We've got, there it is, the constructor. And so in order to make the constructor, you actually deploy this. You take this up in your hands right now, and you're just going to go outside, and you can really just sort of like drop it wherever you want. I would assume that the best place to put it is probably like right there. That seems to work. You right click to drop it, and from now on, whenever you want to build something complicated, if you want to do the science that is the most complicated, you just step up on here. I like how it has like a little barcode. Is that a barcode? Maybe not. Maybe that's a little readout. Anyways, we can make some new vehicles. So we can make an observatory, an underwater observatory, which is kind of cool. We can make ourselves, it takes 2 metal. Okay, and we can make the Cyclops. It requires a number of gold. It requires some copper. It's going to require some deep sea diving, I think. And so in the interest of doing that a little bit more safely, I think the sea moth is probably a pretty good call for right now. I'm going to go take stock of how much copper we have, though, first. Let's go have a look. Copper! How much of you do we have? Copper. Yep, we have 1 copper, which is I think how much we need in order to get the sea moth made. I'm going to bring that back with me. Let me go ahead and I'm going to dump off all of this stuff so that we don't have to carry it around for right now. And then my next plan is probably going to revolve somewhere around finding more salt so that I can cook dinner, because we have nothing to eat at the moment. And we are going to be both parched and thirsty pretty soon. So maybe some membranes, maybe some other goodies. Who knows? Alright, so we got that. Over here on this side, we got the constructor. Okay, the transfuser. Huh. The stasis rifle requires copper and a battery. I think you need to analyze the stasis rifle, though, first. Like, we had that little thing over here, the fragment. I think you have to make, there's a new thing in the game, and it's called a, is it here? It might not be in here. So basically, there's an item that allows you to go through and analyze a fragment of a piece of technology that you found. And yeah, we don't have it. And so I think you can only build it inside of the Cyclops or something like that maybe. And once you've made that, you can make your rifle. So anyways, let me get a head count right now. We know that we have the copper. I'm going to get the sea glide out in just a second. But for the time, I don't like the way that it tips over, though. That makes me sad. I don't like it when things are tipsy, unless they're me. And then I'm okay with it. We need 2 glass. Okay, so we have the glass, we have the battery, we have, that's easy enough, we just need the metal. So, let's be on our way. Sea Glide, ho! We need to name, that seems like the sort of thing that you probably shouldn't shout at, like, the women's scuba club. That might get you into trouble. You might get hit. One of the more vicious ladies might take a swipe at you. It's possible. I haven't killed any of these adorable little sea cats yet because they're cute and I want to put them in a fish tank and like pet them and cuddle them. I feel like it should sit on my shoulder underwater. Like if we were in a Disney film right now, it would be our sidekick. It would sing songs. It would actually like chitter the beat to certain parts so that, you know, whenever you got that song like in the bed of a fixer-upper, you know, you get to that point and then like it would be in the background like clickety click 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 click, like making little noises to like kind of like sell the beat, I guess. I don't know. So in order to get gold and some of the other stuff that we want, it's going to be troublesome. We need to find the deep sea. And if, we found the deep sea. That wasn't so bad. Alright, well, gold might not be this shallow. I think the gold typically spawns in somewhere around like 100 to 200. What is this little thing right here? It's kind of cute too. Why is everything so adorable in this game? Why do you gotta make me feel so guilty about murdering you? Although it does say something sort of interesting about the fact that like, Oh, oxygen's at 50%. Okay, I thought there. We found some underwater emeralds, but they're mounted in the wall, unfortunately. Oh, we've got actually some of those gator thingies over here. Okay. So, ups and downs of this situation. The ups and downs of this situation. They do collect metal, and so our chances of finding metal have gone up. They are quite the rocking beasts. They like to bring as much metal home with them as possible. They hit up Rasputin's, and that's how they do it. Rasputin's is a music store. I don't know if it's like a California thing or it's like an everywhere thing. I'd have to Google it and see if it's like a bigger company. But do they have Rasputin's everywhere? I don't know. Either way, Rasputin Music, it's a place where you can go to get like old albums. Like essentially, it's like a secondhand flea market for only music related and movie stuff. It's like movies and music. It's pretty sweet. We have one in the mall around here and it's pretty nice. Hey, Gary Fish, you want to come with me? Gary Fish. Gary, let me carry. Do not tarry. Do not tarry, Gary, as I try to carry. There we go. Awesome. And you float like a fairy through the water. We need to find... What the hell is that? Oh, I'm not okay with that thing. It looks terrifying. It's digging into the water like some kind of enormous... It's definitely got... It reminds me there's a... I'll look it up in between episodes. But there's a very specific animal from prehistory that looked like that. It looked kind of like a trilobite, but with like little boxing gloves on the sides. I forget what it's called. I'll have to look at my paleontology notebook. Actually, I never got it back from my teacher. Never mind. I can't look at my paleontology notebook. Maybe I'll be able to look at some of my other... supplementary materials and find it, but there's a name for that creature. I did a lot of paleontology in college too. It was fun. No dinosaurs though, mostly just weird ancient mud bugs and critters that lived on the bottom of the ocean. Everybody wants to, the problem with paleontology is that everybody wants to do dinosaurs. Nobody wants to research like, the random critters that like skittered along the bottom of the ocean, like the bugs. The random stuff that, like, most people aren't going to care about. Like the little tiny single-celled organisms, like all those sorts of things, nobody really seems to care about them. Dendrites, all that fun stuff. Ancient plants. Actually, I think people are into ancient plants. It's just kind of like a random thing, and it depends on whether or not your school specializes in it. There's some metal. I actually feel like metal has been... I feel like I'm being chased right now by some of those crocodile thingies, and I would prefer for them not to carve a new hole out of mine anus. That would be super awesome. Keep things as they are currently configured, for I feel the figure that they currently cut is one that is most satisfactory unto myself. You better not be trying to bite me right now, weird crocodile fish. You get out of here. You get out of here right now.
Oxygen, 50%.
I know, my oxygen's at 50%. We'll be alright. What's down in this cave right here? Probably those exploding fish. Oh, what the hell is that? Oh, it's a sea vent. Shit. Yeah, that could be quite fatal in real life. That could be... I don't know how much you enjoy the feeling of being a hot dog in a boiler or a hot dog in a steamer, but that's essentially what you're subjecting yourself to. There's our metal right there. I think I'll gather up a few more bits, though, because I see a few over here, too. So, since we were at the Shrine of Vulcan, I figure we'll take the metal back with us. Yeah, oh, my inventory's full. Can I drop anything to make room for it? I cannot. Do I have a map or anything? Damn. Okay, since I don't have a map, let me cut a little look right here and see if maybe we can get back to here, because I'd really like to investigate this vent right here. These vents and upwellings are caused by a number of things, like kind of just tectonic processes, to be honest. That's pretty much it. If I keep that on my right, let me go out. I don't know if I can find this again, and I didn't build a compass either. It's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Well, if we go from the right eyeball of our ship and go outwards with it at our back, we should be able to land back over here pretty quickly. Anyways, the tectonic processes that cause those things are actually somewhat cryptic. This is kind of like the front lines of geological research. We actually don't know why a lot of things do what they do underneath the surface of the Earth. Once you start getting down into the asthenosphere, after you get through the lithosphere, we really are not so sure about a lot of things. The things we can do is we can set off explosions all over the world, or we can get these things called thumpers, which are exactly what they sound like. They're the things from, in Half-Life, how they had those thumpers that would keep the bugs away. Exact same thing. We use those in real life, and what those do is they send seismic waves through the Earth, and you can pick those up from various relay stations. You can triangulate using them, and doing that, you can actually see the way that the internal structure of the Earth is formed. That's how we know, for example, that like the center of the Earth is like nickel and iron and all of that fun stuff. That's how we know, because sound waves travel differently through different substances. And so you can either set off big-ass explosions. That's your first thing, is you can either blow stuff up, and then you monitor the explosions from different stations all around the world as the waves bounce around inside the Earth. Or B, so we got 2 metal right there. We're going to have to build ourselves another crate, I think. Possibly. Let's make dinner, though, first. I think we're a little bit hard up for... if I drop this fish right here... No, don't eat him. Damn it. Alright, so that was a mistake. I made a mistake. We're gonna live and learn by it, but for the time being, yes. Delicious golden cooked Gary fish. Would you like to be inside my mouth? It's not the best smelling place, but I assure you, the ride down to my stomach is quite satisfactory. For me... Let's see here. We've got... Let's eat the boomerang. Num num num. We'll save the Gary fish for later. And for right now, we need to focus on getting ourselves some water. So let's go find an air bladder. We're going to do our best. What I was trying to do was take the air bladder out and drop him on the ground to see if we could harvest off of him. Let's go ahead and give this guy a knife hug over here. See if it'll work out. Air sacs aren't super spry, so I don't think we're going to have too much. Does it die eventually? It does. But it looks like you can actually harvest off of his eyeball as it falls to the bottom of the ocean. So if you want to have a whole bunch of membranes, that's how you do it. If you want to get insane with the membranes, let's jump back up on the Sea Glide. Oh my god, it's so much faster. It's so much more satisfactory. Alright, so now that we got our Sea Glide, I think we have enough metal to make ourselves... Pretty sure anyways. I'm not totes sure about it, but I'm pretty sure that we have enough to make our Cyclops right now. I'm going to go back. I think they actually nerfed the amount of stuff you need. We need 8 waters. This might take a little while. So there's 2. Let's practice our counting together, just in case somebody got left out. So we got 3 waters. 4 waters. 5 should do it. I mean, we don't really need that many, but 6 or 7 would be better. There we go. Get ourselves all nice and sustained. If there's one thing I like, it's the sustenance of myself. So let's go ahead and grab that over there. The sustenance of other people I'm pretty okay with too, but myself is pretty awesome. Alright, so we're at 100. We're good to go right there. If we grab some of this metal out, actually, and we store up some of these membranes, I think we might be in decent shape. No. Let's go... We got a couple of membranes in case later on we need something good. We got a couple of glass right there. We'll grab some of those. And what else did we need? I think we needed a battery, which is going to require us to take some... That's not what I wanted. It's going to require us to take along... The battery was zinc and carbon. We have calcium. We don't need that. It looks like we actually have to track down some... No, we have zinc. There it is. We need to track down some carbon, though. That sounds pretty good. Let's go ahead and get ourselves steel with a little bit of carbon. Oh, good, they regrew. I was feeling a little bit guilty about destroying these. You really should. I mean, we're on a fresh planet right now, but on our modern planet, you're probably not going to make the park ranger too happy if you start plucking away at things on the bottom of the sea. Might get you into a little bit of trouble. You might have to have a hard conversation with the magistrate. You might have an issue. You might have an issue. I'm not going to say you're gonna, but I'm going to say that there have been a few times where I went out and I figured that, you know, since I was like college educated, whatever, I'd be able to talk my way through it. I know how to deal with like coral reefs and stuff like that. Like I've done that in college, like gone out and dealt with the ocean and things of that nature, done conservation efforts. But still, the ranger, regardless of what credentials you attest to have, typically tends to question you on it quite a bit too. Oh shit, what just happened here? Hold on. There we go. Let's climb up on this bad boy. And the sea moth should not be so far. Oh, we needed more glass and we needed some copper. So one more glass and a copper and we should be out of here. I thought we despawned our lifeboat for a second. I was like, oh my god, no. I kind of want to see what's down in the vent. It seems like we might have some decent luck with gold down there, considering it's a dangerous environment. I don't know. We'll give it a look. We have another glass right there. We'll take you. I needed my final piece of copper to get this thing going, but we're making very, very good process. Like, we're making really good progress for 2 episodes right now. We made our battery already, so that should be it for us, right? I think that should be it. Let's go have a look. See if we can... Where did this thing end up? I know it's flopping around a little bit. It's gotten a tad... Oh, shit. The eyeballs are on both sides, and I didn't pay attention to which side I approached from. Probably... Since that was on my right, probably from this side right here is where I approached from. So from like right here, if I cut that way, I should be able to make it back. We'll call it Vulcan's Forge. How about that? I like to give things names, so we'll head back to Vulcan's Forge. We'll check that out, especially once we have the Sea Moth, since it's a little bit safer. I don't know how the battery works for the Sea Moth just yet, whether I'm going to need to like create more of those or how that's going to work. I want to climb up on it right now. There, let me climb on you. Why are you being so difficult right now? You're upsetting me. You're upsetting me right now, constructor. There we go. And so there's our sea moth. It'll spawn somewhere around here. There it is. I think it drops it into the ocean. That's so badass. We need this technology right now. Why can't I fabricate something out of thin air like this? Oh, we need this right this second. We also need that thing from Star Trek that makes you whatever dinner you want, where you're just like, cheeseburger, in like the most sexy voice possible, the Patrick Stewart voice, and then it gives you a cheeseburger. I bet Patrick Stewart's like, this thing doesn't even actually do that. It just does it because my voice is so sexy. I give it an order, and then it happens. I give it an order, and then it happens. It's the nature and the tenor of my voice that causes this to occur, and nothing further. I may leave the sea moth here for a second, since I'm a little bit... like, it's got energy, and as I recall, it's quick. Like, it's speedy. Look how fast it gets us around. But we're going to go through our electricity pretty quick with it, and so I may actually tool out that direction a little bit further, and maybe just save the sea moth for later. Just keep it kitted up right here for now. And then, can we store stuff in it? Is that a possibility? I don't know if maybe there's a vehicle menu or something around here. Here, if I'm inside the sea moth... oh no, it kicked me out. If I'm inside the sea moth... yeah, if you tab out inside the sea moth, it gets you into trouble. So anyways, it looks like we can't really do anything with it for right now. We can't... I don't know if it recharges on its own from solar energy or how that works. We'll have to figure it out. But either way, let's go back to Vulcan's Forge for the time being. We'll bring back some more of that metal. I think we came in from right here. And so there it is. Vulcan's Forge should be out this way. I'm going to try and grab any metal that I can along the way. Our inventory should be delightfully empty right now. We are carrying a lot of oxygen tanks. That's something that I may back off of in the future now that we have the sea moth. But for the time being, it works for me. So if we could find Vulcan's Forge again, that would make me pretty happy. What are those? I'm going to call them mace tails for now. I guess we could call them clever bangs. That seems pretty awesome. I'm going to call them clever bangs from now on. I'm going to stay the hell away from them, though, because I seem to remember those hitting me in the face a while back, and it being really, really, like, excruciatingly painful for my character, not for me. I don't really care. I'm just going to sit here and be like, how bad would that suck if they eventually implemented, like, video games where you felt pain, like, as part of the digital experience? Oh, that'd be brutal. It'd be so brutal. I can't promise we're ever going to find this sea vent again, but I'm going to try my best. Some of these rubbery looking lumps down here appear like they might be useful at some point, but how deep are we? 65 meters? That's pretty deep. You have to start worried about, I don't know, how deep can you go before you need a deep pressure, like, how deep can you dive before you need a pressure tank to take care of that, or where before you need to, like, actually spend a bunch of time at differing depths to let your body reacclimate to the pressure before you end up getting, what is it, the bends, I think is what it's called. It's where your blood starts to get bubbles in it or something like that. It's quite fatal. It also seems like it's probably going to be very, very painful if and when it occurs. I don't see the forge around here anywhere, although I could be off by a few degrees, and with the distance that we've actually swam at this point, we may not be able to find it the way that I want to. But in any case, the thing that we need to do now is find some gold. They got rid of unobtainium. I actually think we need to be further off this way. I think I've gotten a little bit off bearing. I think my sense of direction is pretty decent most of the time. As long as I have a point of reference, I'm usually okay. So that's right there. Yeah, I think we need to be more down this way. I think that's it right there. Maybe. We're still being surrounded by hostile creatures. There's a lot of metal along the bottom, though, so I'm willing to... I think I'm willing to risk my safety to see if I can isolate some of this metal, because we're going to need 6 or 7 of it in order to make the Cyclops, which is going to be super gangster once we get it built. So we'll grab these. Yeah, scrap these on up. That sounds good. I'd love to be able to go near the ship, too. I hope they add that later on, where the ship provides you with sort of like a cursory... there it is, Vulcan's Forge. Let's see what we can find right here. We got like a minute or 2 left in the episode, and I think we can do some exploration, have some fun with it. I don't know if this is going to burn me to death or not, but there was a reason that I went with non-hardcore, because I wasn't sure what all the stimuli were going to be that we're going to be interacting with. So let's see here. But yeah, the tectonics that cause something like this are really sort of a mystery to us. As far as you can tell, it's just sort of like the movement of plates combined... Whew. Alright, well... I'm gonna camp out near the edge and see if it burns me. Let's find out. It looks like we're sort of okay. It looks like we might be reasonably okay. We've got 2 minutes to fiddle around down here, though. And I'd prefer... It looks like we've got a cave over there. Let's go ahead and dodge that vent. But yeah, tectonics are a strange thing, and it's something that we don't really understand at this point. Like, we get, like, sort of why certain things do what they do, but the specifics are very, very murky. By and large, my guess would be is that we're near some side of, like, subduction zone. So, for example, what'll happen here is tectonic plates move around. The surface of the Earth is made out of plates. Whether you're at the surface or whether you're at the bottom of the ocean, it's all lithosphere, oceanic or otherwise. Oh, wow. Looks like a subaquatic like nightclub down in here. You get like the oonts, 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 boots and cats and boots and cats. Let's see here. Are those bad for me? I bet they're bad for me. They look like jellyfish. And my experience with jellyfish is one that has taught me that you probably don't want to get stung by them. It's a little bit dark down here for exploration right now, and it's making me feel a tad nervous. I don't know how much deeper we can dive right here either, but I'm going to try and get outside the blast. Okay, that did it. Yep, that'll do it. All right. It's about as hot as we expected. I'm actually going to try and wait for its next explosion of material. It'd be nice if you could ride the material upwards, but it does not appear as though that's an option. We've got about 15 seconds to make it back up to the surface. I think we are going to make it in time. It's just going to be a little bit close. So anyways, my name is Splattercat. I will talk about the subduction process in the next episode, since it looks like we're out of time. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Subnautica. It's been a blast playing the game with all of you. I really do enjoy this game. It's a game that I've become actually fairly obsessed with. I will see you all later. Hi-do out there, everybody. I'll see you next time.